Welcome, everybody, to Pick and Roll, the NBA betting show on the board YouTube channel, which is the NBA content division of the Hammer Betting Network. We're pleased to say that we have just hit 1,000 subscribers on this channel. So thank you so much, everybody, for the great support that you guys have given us all throughout the season. We're going to continue to work very hard to produce the best possible basketball betting content that we can on this channel and, of course, on this show, Pick and Roll. So if you're new to the channel or you've just not done so already, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you find yourself enjoying this video along the way, this stream along the way, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. But as we always do, we're going to start off today's show with a recap of the previous day's plays. We'll just recap the season as well quickly here, going to our BetStamp profile for public tracking so you can see exactly what's been going on with our record. 119 and 92 on the season, nearly 13 units of profit, and a 5.2% ROI. But the previous day was a 1-1 day. Chris Paul, Devin Booker hit their, Chris Paul was very easy cover. Devin Booker eventually gets that 30-point line we needed. And the Rockets side of things, a very rare Rockets same game parlay loss. But unfortunately, Alperen Şengün never really came close here. I think it was Desmond Bane that was supposed to be tracked there. It was a winner regardless. I'll fix that, but it was supposed to be Desmond Bane. He covered easily. Regardless, didn't win. Anyways, Pips, why don't you take us through what went on with our boy Alperen Şengün for this game?
There nothing much with LP. He did his best, but the Memphis Grizzlies adjusted their defense. So they were double teaming Alperen inside. Whenever he got the ball, tried to post up, double teams came. And on the pick and rolls, Jaren Jackson wasn't contesting and blocking shots like he used to. He was glued to Alperen Şengün and just letting Jalen Green to score inside on the drives. But he just stayed to LP and said like, okay, we're gonna defend LP. Everyone else can play one-on-one, which not expected. Like last game, he scored 25 points easily. And like this is the part of the season when everyone adjusting game to game. So it's difficult to bet on previous matchups. And also, like when you adjust against the Houston Rockets, like when you one of the worst teams in the league and you make adjustment, I didn't expect it. I mean, like in this matchup, I don't think like anyone can cover when you are getting double teams in post ups and you are getting glued to. So nothing against this Şengün here, like maybe against my Rockets because they played the worst game I ever seen. Like these are like completely giving up on everything, letting Memphis score 150 points. Kennard was 10 for 11 from three, and they still going under the like he scored 7 or 8 threes in like 5 minutes, and they were still going under his screen. That was like one of the most ridiculous thing I ever seen. And yeah, LP didn't get any fourth quarter minutes, so still Desmond Bane had 4 threes in the first half, 3 in the first quarter. So very unfortunate that.
Yeah, that was a quick one. I was just hoping eventually, I was maybe hoping fourth quarter he'd just get a bunch of minutes and like kind of garbage time and score. But we're definitely at that point in the NBA season where a lot of big spreads. Even today, a lot of big spreads because the winning teams are still winning. The losing teams, they want to lose. They want to lose at this point, to be honest, especially with the prospect of Victor Wembanyama and Scoot Henderson beckoning for those teams if they get those best lottery odds. So
yeah, and also the second pick was Chris Paul and Devin Booker, and we had another double teams on every time he touches the ball on Devin Booker, but he is unbelievable scorer, so he still managed to get there, even with some weird lower minutes. He played 14 minutes, 14 minutes in the first half, which is crazy for Booker, who usually plays 40 minutes a night, especially without KD and Ayton. But he still got there, so we are good there.
Yeah, at least it was a split, which gives us a winning week. It was just a fraction under 2 units of profit from last week. So hoping to do more of the same today. And once again, we appreciate all the kind words from everybody about the 1,000 subs. We're very happy to have hit that. But let's have another winning week, and let's get started here. As I mentioned, a lot of big spreads, which makes it a little bit more difficult for the handicapping processes. And a lot of these games also have questionable players, so not a lines posted. So one official play coming at you guys for today. And we are going to be going to a guy I wasn't really expecting us to have to go back to, but here we are. We're going to Jonas Valanciunas. He's seen an upgrade in his minutes recently, where it kind of seemed like he was tailing off a little bit. But we're going with JV over 27.5 points and rebounds. This is minus 118 at Caesars. They're taking on the Blazers today. Again, Pips' favorite center, Yusuf Nurkic. So let's see exactly what you like from this one, and maybe a little bit of insight into why JV has seen his minutes rise again all of a sudden.
Yeah, so they are just playing a lot through him, and they need his scoring. They were on a very losing streak, like losing so many games in a row.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then they started playing Jonas more, and they started winning. So they just kept going with it. So I mean, they had a very easy schedule, but they won 4 in a row. They are playing on every game. The biggest part of their success was Jonas. He had like crazy scoring. So over the last 5 games, he scored 22, 21, 19, 20, 17. And then he had 12 or more rebounds in every single game. So you can show the graph like how this looks on points and rebounds. So yeah, 30 plus in 5 straight games, 35 average. And now he's getting my favorite matchup for centers. That's Portland Trail. Pardon. That's Portland Trail Blazers, and yeah, everyone is doubtful for the Trail Blazers. So I doubt we see Nurkic. We could see maybe Anthony Simons and on Jeremy Grant, but Damian Lillard and Nurkic, I think they are done for the season. So yeah,
for tanking reasons.
yeah, he's getting probably Eubanks as a matchup. So yeah, that size advantage is just huge. Yeah, it's usually 2 coins of euros. So so good on this one. So the size advantage of Jonas is probably the biggest guy. Like Embiid is right there, but Jonas is probably one of the biggest guys. Nurkic, Jonas, and Embiid, I think, are the 3 biggest. Sabonis is, I think, also there, but I think that Jonas is bigger than Sabonis. I think on the weight side, at least 20 pounds more than Sabonis, and now he gets Eubanks. That's just I don't know, like huge size advantage in height, in weight. So rebounds should be easy. There will be a ton of bricks by Portland G League squad. And the good thing is Jonas is usually starting the fourth quarter. That's the rotation set. So if it's a like 20 points game, he's still playing some minutes in the fourth quarter. So even if it's a like if it's not a like early second half blowout, Jonas will still get the close to 30 minutes, and this is the like very 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 positive matchup on both rebounds and points inside, and he should completely dominate this game. Also, a bit of advantage here is Tybull is still playing, and he'll probably guarding CJ McCollum or Brandon Ingram, so slowing him down in one-on-one matchup and letting Jonas cook more inside.
And every game right now for the Pelicans is like a must-win game. They're actually in a playing position right now. They're up to 8th place. They are 2 games back of the 4 seed Phoenix Suns, though. And today, with the caliber of this Portland team, as you mentioned, this really has to be a win for the Pelicans. And as you said, JV has been a big part of their recent success. And a 4-game win streak has turned this from a 12 seed into an 8 seed. So every win is so significant right now in the Western Conference.
Yeah.
By the way, guys, this is minus one. We originally was minus 118 when we gave it out. It's minus 117. So we got it at Caesars. A little bit less on the juice for this one if you're at Caesars. So we'll take that. Anything else to add here? Are we ready to talk about a team that is most certainly struggling in the Western Conference?
I think we are good here. Like it's self-explanatory. So
Right.
yeah.
So Pelicans, every win counts, as we said. Every loss counts in this Western Conference heavily. And a team that is doing a lot of losing is the Dallas Mavericks. They went all in at the trade deadline, acquiring Kyrie Irving, knowing that Kyrie was on a rental contract where there was no guarantee he would stay. At least there was supposed to be success this season, but since the acquisition of Kyrie Irving, this team is 6-13. They are now out of the play-in positions altogether. They are 11th, and they've lost their last 4, but their last 3 are ugly. They've lost back-to-back to the Charlotte Hornets, where the spread in one of them was like 14. I imagine yesterday was around the same. I can just quickly verify. A 12-point spread, a 14-point spread the previous game. And they also in the 3 games, they've lost to the Golden State Warriors at home. The Golden State Warriors are a bottom 3 away team in the NBA. So 3 like almost simple games for this team, and they lose all 3 and are now facing the prospect of not even making the play-in tournament with Kyrie Irving here. I don't know. I don't know what to say on this whole situation, but Pips, what do you think has been the problem with this Dallas team? Because this is an embarrassing stretch of games, quite frankly.
So I think we have like a separate video on our YouTube when we talk about the trade. And I mentioned
Yeah.
3 points, and I think all 3 came true. First one was where is the defense? Second one, how is Kyrie going to play with so high ball dominant player? And the fourth one was is are they going to be available for the team? And all 3 things, like Kyrie missed a couple of games, Luka missed a couple of games. When they played together, they're 3-7. Kyrie doesn't look well next to the Luka Doncic at all, and their defense is terrible. Like they can get stops on anyone. Hornets probably the worst offense in the league, scoring at the will. So many mistakes on the defense. It's not some crazy shooting from Hornets. It's just terrible defense, and it's not like Luka Doncic can hold his own against some players. It's team defense that's falling apart, and guys will have wide open dunk or layup on every like 4th or 5th possession. And I watched both of these games, and I was so frustrated watching it. Luka not looking great. He's not, and we saw the interview where he said that he's not finding joy playing basketball. And
Mhm.
if anyone watched the next game, he could see it. Like he started 0 from 6, just couldn't get it, and then started being like crazy because I think he was like, "This is enough. I need to just knock everything," and he did end up scoring 40 points. But Kyrie was terrible. One of the worst games I've seen. The game of the season on the line against the worst team in the NBA league. Luka Doncic getting double teamed every possession, every time he touches the ball, and Kyrie and he out when he's double teamed, he's passing the ball to wide open Kyrie. And Kyrie shot 15 times and Luka shot 30 times. How is that possible? So that's a will to play. That's a will to score. You are getting double team and you still get 30 shots up and score 40 points and against every kind of defense they're throwing at you. And the second option is getting wide open looks out of Luka Doncic double, and he only takes 15 shots and score 18 points, shooting 5 for 15. In do or die game, season on the line, you are getting the single cover against the Hornets wide open looks out of Luka double, and he didn't do anything. No energy. He was standing in dunker spot for half the game, just hiding there. Like that's completely mental breakdown of Kyrie and this team. And then on the other side, Luka doesn't even try on defense. Like, he will get to drive. He will complain to the refs. He won't get back to the defense. When he gets back to the defense, he will be like completely out of it, looking at the refs still barking, and the foul wasn't even close to being a foul, and that's happening like 15 to 20 possessions in the game. Like just terrible basketball, terrible mindset, everything going wrong with the Dallas Mavericks. It's hard to watch.
So you mentioned Kyrie Irving has missed some games. He has. They actually have won six out of. They're 6-9 when Kyrie Irving plays. So the 4 games Kyrie Irving missed, they lost all 4 of those games. But the thing on Kyrie, you're talking about, him maybe not really being engaged in the game. Like this had to have factored into the trade decision when they traded for him, because like this is just something that you have to come to sort of expect with Kyrie Irving. You don't know what sort of head state he's going to be in. And that has led to problems with all the teams he's been on since he left Cleveland. You just don't know what sort of player you're going to get. When Kyrie Irving's at his best, he's obviously one of the top players in the NBA, but when he doesn't feel like being that, you get something like this. And on top of that, with the trade, Dorian Finney-Smith going the other way was obviously a problem. Defensively, this team lacks a ton of size. Defensively, like I'm looking through their team, like is the best defender in this team really like Maxi Kleba or Josh Green? Like, is that what we've like really come to with this team? So it's not a well put together roster. And they made a big risky trade for a player that I don't think they really should have done that, like anything for, because Kyrie Irving owes this team nothing. He doesn't need to stay. And especially if they don't even, you know what? I'd be a little bit shocked if they missed the play-in. They're obviously in 11th right now, but even if they're in the play-in, like, why would Kyrie Irving want to stay with this team? So I guess the next question would have to be, do you see anything? Do you see him staying?
I don't know. Probably not. Don't see the reason why should he. Also,
Exactly,
being guy who wants to live like there. I mean, Dallas is not good spot. Also, interesting thing that Luka got 16 technical in that game, and he's missing this goal. So they're playing the Pacers tonight. They could lose, especially Halliburton is playing. They will lose probably. Then they're playing 76ers. They will lose. Then they're playing Miami Heat. They could lose. Then they're playing Hawks. They could lose. Then they're playing the Kings. They will lose. And then they're playing the Bulls. They will probably lose. So, like, are they going to make playing? I don't know.
Oof, that's not an easy schedule. Yeah. They do have the Spurs last game of the season.
Yeah,
so
last game. If the season is on the line, they'll beat the Spurs. Like, but
it could also be the Bulls are locked into their seeding that game. I'm not sure what it'll look like, but you're right in saying that this is not an easy stretch of games.
Bulls are playing good now.
I'm saying if they can't move,
just saying if they try to compete, I don't think Dallas will win this. So the Bulls are like the best defense since the Patrick Beverly got there. So they're playing great now. Suddenly, not great, but with good defense, and they score enough on offense that they can win. So it's really getting interesting in the NBA. Like, we expected it, but some teams unexpectedly could miss the games. Like, so much happened over the weekend. Like, the one of the best weekends we had so far this season. So I think like LeBron's back. That's huge. Lakers drop. I think they are now 5th lowest odds to win the championship, or 5th or 6th, like depends on the bookies. So then there is a reason for it. If he is healthy, this team is healthy, they can compete. Anthony Davis, LeBron James, Reeves with new role, D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley, Jared Vanderbilt. They are now suddenly deep team. Like they're having Rui Hachimura out of the rotation. That's and he like month ago he'll be their third or fourth guy. Like
Yep.
they're suddenly great team. Like if they get healthy to the playoffs, they can make upsets. That's the one thing. The other thing is Towns is back. The Golden State Warriors just lost to the Wolves away. Wolves played pretty good, great defense, which was surprised with Towns back at the lineup. So that's another thing in the and these are we are speaking about LeBron James getting back to the 9th seed, 8th seed, and then Towns getting like playing spots, playing teams with Bulls on the other side getting better, Lakers getting better, now Wolves getting better. Zion if gets back, Pelicans are suddenly great. Like playing teams will be difficult.
Yeah.
Playing games will be like all time great this season.
Yeah.
Imagine Lakers and I don't know Wolves or Pelicans with Zion playing game. That's like the finals almost.
Yeah, lots to lots to be excited for in this Western Conference with the play-in games. I'm starting to see the value of the play-in games for sure. It's starting to
Huge,
make more sense why they have
huge.
them. The regular season is more exciting because more teams are relevant, which is great, and the play-in games themselves are excellent. Like I remember a couple years ago, the Lakers and Warriors had a play-in game, which was like an all-time game. That was the game where LeBron hit that late step back three. He said he saw 3 rims and he shot at the middle one. I don't believe him, but that was
Yeah,
the quote from that one.
I remember that one. I will see great games this season. Again, if you take a look at the playoff playing spots for both sides, we could be East Conference is also great. Like if we could have Heat, Hawks, Raptors, and Bulls. Raptors and Bulls would be the battle, huge battle, and then Heat against the Hawks. Like they are very well
Could
known
be
to each
it could be
other.
Brooklyn as well. It could be Brooklyn as
Yeah,
well who fall
could be
there.
Brooklyn, but could be Brooklyn, yes, but hoping for Heat drop
Yeah,
to stay in the seventh place. So I don't want the Nets to be drop the last game of the season to seventh and then miss the playoffs.
I
I
have a
want
bet on Brooklyn to miss the playoffs, so that would be very nice for me. I just need them to
yeah
make the play in, and then I think they could lose both.
yeah.
um,
So also interesting thing, Fox had some injury. He missed a game. He could miss couple of games. Didn't look well. So there's so much going on like day to day that it's so interesting to watch to follow like one of probably the best we are one of the most competitive and all-time great seasons
I agree.
in front of us. Clippers got blown out by Pelicans away. Kawhi
And
Leonard
right
had
after the Clippers blew out the Thunder, they get blown out by
yeah
the Pelicans.
yeah and Kawhi had a trip to the locker room, never came back. He's probable to play tonight, but we never know. Like, that was a scary moment for the Clippers. Paul George out and suddenly Leonard going out. That was crazy.
Yeah,
But probably because the game is already like huge spread, they didn't want to risk anything. But yeah, and we are waiting on Thunders to slip in that 10th spot. I'm hoping for them to make it at the 10th spot in front of Dallas Mavericks.
mhm.
And yeah, Thunders are playing Hornets, Pistons, and Pacers, and then Jazz. So they could win. They win. So they had 7 games for the rest of the season, and they win 3 out of these 7. They will probably make the 10th seed because they have one more win against over the Dallas, and I don't see Dallas winning 5 of the last 7.
Right.
So
That's
that
a
will
good
be
point.
very interesting. Yeah.
I think Thunder could even move up from that 10th spot as well. Final question for discussion. Somebody's asking here. We'll have an updated one. We answered this quite a bit, but M. Halbani here asks, our picks from the East and West. Our picks from the East, I don't imagine it's changed off the Bucks for yourself. It certainly has not for me. Bucks are the best team in the East, in my opinion. You agree?
Yeah.
Western Conference, though, things have definitely changed here. The Suns with the Kevin Durant situation, there's no guarantee he's going to be back for the start of the playoffs, and that may not be a layup first round series. I don't think any series is a layup in the West. Any thought into who's coming out of the West at this point? Who's your favorite? It's honestly, there's 6, maybe 7 teams you could say could come out of the West right now.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like a play-in team has a legitimate shot at coming out of the West because I think they'll likely get the Grizzlies, and I think like the Timberwolves could beat the Grizzlies. They gave them a very competitive series last year. I think the Pelicans with Zion definitely could beat them. Lakers as well. I think any of these teams could give Denver a tough series as well. I think
Any of
Denver would
these
win.
teams can win against the Kings and against the Denver Nuggets too. So
yeah, so
they won't be favorite, but they can win.
So there may be 8 teams seemingly who could come out of the West.
Yeah.
I honestly, I could say more.
I'll give one prop to the Denver Nuggets. They played the Bucks over the weekend, and they blown them out. So I watched the game. It was a great game. First 3 quarter, one of the best games of the season. So interesting, so well played. And then my biggest issue with Bucks, and if that was different, I would be like completely sold on them winning the championship, even though they won one previously. I'm not a huge fan of Mike Budenholzer in the playoffs, adjustment wise and rotations. And he did some again like, why do you have Drew Holiday shooting a contested step back three, 5 minutes into the possession? That shot is available with 3 seconds on the clock. You can try to play something, and and he's not even an efficient scorer. So these things happen, and then his rotations can be sometimes off. He's trying so hard to play his best players 30 minutes a game, and then in the playoffs, this remembers the series against the Miami Heat when they got out, they lost that series like 3 or 4 years ago. Was it in the bubble or
to the Miami lost to the Bucks?
Other way around, I think.
Oh, when the Bucks lost to Miami, that was
bubble, I think.
That was the bubble. Yeah, that was the conference semis.
Yeah, so that I think that was a bit crazy when you look at the minutes he was playing his best players. Like, it's a playoff. You played your best players. So yeah, he was playing Giannis 34 minutes a night in the playoffs that they lost, and Chris Middleton 33 minutes. Like, come on, man! Like, what's going on? Like, and also his adjustments are so rare and comes late usually. So yeah, that's my issue with the Bucks. But I think still they are the deepest team and the best team in the league. I think that's. I don't think anyone can go against it.
Yeah.
But yeah, they Denver won one game that I thought that would be difficult for them to win, and they won easily in the second half, and that's a big thing for them. Jokic played great, amazing game. It was we don't I personally don't like the 90s basketball where they were just posting out players and playing through the bigs.
Yes,
but it was so great to see Jokic against Brook Lopez going one-on-one. That was so fun.
Yeah, people talk about the 90s, like how players in this era couldn't play in the 90s because how physical it was. Like, players in the 90s would get run off the court in the modern NBA. Like Michael Jordan dribbled the ball behind his back once, and the commentators were absolutely sent by seeing a guy. He dribbled the ball behind his back and then got it again with his right hand. So he dribbled it behind with his right, got it with his right hand. And the commentators lost their mind. If that is the level it takes for like people to get shocked in like the 80s, 90s, imagine that like them watching or playing against like Kyrie Irving today. Like, these guys, their head would explode watching basketball. So yeah, we're in a very skilled era, and it's very, very fun to watch. And like you said, the amount of parity we're seeing this season is probably the best we've ever seen.
I think the most incredible would be Embiid shooting step back threes and going
7-footer,
like unbelievable. Like he had Michael Jordan moves at his size. It's amazing.
That's true. Yeah. Oh man, imagine just Imagine being in a coma for 20 years or coming, not even like, around 20 years, coming out and seeing the way basketball is played today. It is a completely different sport pretty much. But
I would love to wake up for the playoffs to not watch much of a regular season game because the basketball is amazing, talent is great, but I don't like how it's refereeing and
oh yeah, that's
so
a whole
soft
different thing.
sometimes. And people usually around the world, especially in Europe, they always, when you look at the Croatian site or any Serbian site on like huge Europe sites of basketball, they'll always trash the NBA for not playing defense. And they think players don't want to play defense. It's not. It's the referees are just making such a soft calls and so stupid that they don't allow players to play defense. So that's the thing I don't like about the NBA. And that's the only thing I don't like about it, because the talent is offensive talent is so big that you need to let these guys play some defense so it can at least match up the offense. But offense is always very nicer to watch, and yeah.
All right. With that, I think we're ready to wrap up the show. Let's recap the one pick from today. A lot of big spreads, a lot of questionable players, so not a lot of lines up. But the pick that is in play is in the Pelicans Blazers game. Jonas Valanciunas to go over 27.5 points and rebounds combined. That is minus 117 at Caesars. Hoping to get a great matchup against this very lowly Blazers team who are starting to tank. But that has been your show. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Drop a like if you enjoyed. Rate and review 5 stars on podcast more if you've been enjoying the picks. And once again, thank you guys so much for helping this channel reach 1,000 subscribers. If you want to join us here on the Board YouTube channel for more NBA betting content throughout the rest of the season, the playoffs, and the offseason as well. We'll be doing plenty more content over here on the channel. Get involved today. We start our new road here to 2,000 subs. Thank you again, guys. But let's hope this pick cashes, and we will see you tomorrow for more.